And we are live, I think. Are we live yet? A minute, let me do a quick check. I think we are. I'm not seeing anything on my Twitter. Oh, so it's live as it. Okay, I think we're live. Just give me a minute. It's not showing up that I am live on my profile, but it's showing up. Okay. Okay, just email me. Let me share the link to communities once again. I'm sure this is very loud. A minute. There's one in Discord. Okay, one more first broadcast. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Notification. Locked. Yeah, live. And we are live. Yeah, GM everyone, welcome to today's stream. And today we'll be talking about what you want to hear, right? That was the today. Today is just about a couple of folks that are in the Producers program of Solana Turbine and Aki. So there's been a lot of chats on Twitter recently about people are very new to Solana, so they have questions and would like to answer most of them, if not all of them. Let's see all of them though, if time permits. So let's just get started. If you are here in the chat, just drop. Can't see my screen. We are sharing. Oh yeah, thank you. I thought I was sharing. Thanks for that. Am I sharing this? Yeah, I'm not sharing my screen yet. I'm not sharing my screen yet. So we're just doing a quick introduction, right? Yeah, I'm not sharing my screen yet. So yeah, if you are in preview, Colin said he's new to Solana, bro. We both know you're not new to Solana. Let me share my screen though. If you want to see my screen, it's basically the same thing that's on this. Um, 1 minute. That's that. I think. Yep, that's basically what's on my screen. If you want to see my screen, and yeah, so let's just get started. If you are here and you have some questions, let's just take some questions before we get started. Basically, today that's what we'll be doing, right? So, anybody wants to bring up a topic before we get started? What topic should we start with? Let me see. Topics. Yeah, why not? Why not? Because why not? Let's do topic on everybody's mind for now. Let's see. I think that should be like this. That should be. I think Geo, Geo SDK, Geo SDK. I think that's basically the first thing. If not, what do we have to build for the week 4 task? Week four task. Okay, let's just give it a minute. Folks from pre-builders should be able to answer this. Is Emma's here yet? Emma, if you are here, what is the answer to this question? Yeah, what do you have to build for week four task? Just try to drop the answer. Mm, there actually okay to this question. There are actually a couple of programs on Solana Turbine currently. We have a pre-builders. It's not very emphasized, but it's new. It's a new program for people that want to get into the builders, but still need some getting used to the Solana environment. So that's who pre-builders are for. And it's surprising that pre-builders are already doing a lot of topics that are already covered in builders. Like it's crazy. So Turbine is not slowing down for anybody. Like it's crazy, bro. So that's what pre-builders is. The topics that they've been covering so far, I know they did the Rust book. So it's more of like they did the Rust book. They covered some topics on Rust book. They did vaults, escrows, I think. Yeah, so they did vault and escrows too. So what else? What else? What else? Okay, uh, Abhishek. Abhishek, would you like to give a rundown of what has been happening at Previewers recently? Would you? Yeah, if you want to, let me see, to join the stream here. Let me see if I can paste the link in this chat. The link to join the stream. The link to join the stream. Where is the link to join the stream? Okay, invite. If anybody would like to come up, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I should be able to get that in my Telegram. Telegram. Yeah. Okay. And 1 minute, sorry. The link to join the stream is this, and I'll share it in the chat. No, I think X. So on the chat, right here on the chat, live chat, I'll just paste this. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the link to join this stream. As it should have. As it should have. As it should have. Yes. If you want to be backstage, just come on here and it will bring you up. So if you want to take the mic, right? Just just signify, right? So today for pre-builders, guys, I want to celebrate you guys for how far you guys have gone. So anything that is stopping you from getting your feet stable on Solana, I want to clear all of those questions, those discussions. So that's basically what today is for. Mm, okay, so Gil, you guys did Gil, right? Tiwari, let me also keep an eye out for requests of people that want to join. The notification, this chat. Am I still sharing my screen? Yeah, I have to share my screen. So there's no request yet. Hmm. So what is Gil? Then what is okay? Let me give you a brief rundown before. If you go to any Solana docs, let's say Solana docs on let's say token transfer, Solana. Let's just start with that before get to the juicy part of things. E transfer tokens, Solana docs transfer tokens. Okay, I cannot access this website without my VPN. 1 minute. Aha. So that's the link to join the stream. Okay. I think yes. Okay. So now when you go to any Solana docs, for the most Solana docs that you have, you'll be greeted with this, is it tabs, not tabs, yeah, tabs, the tabs, not tabs, whatever it is. So you see kits, you see legacy helper. Legacy helper is what I think this is supposed to be due. Create is from, yeah, okay, this is still legacy kit. There is there's a couple of different packages, a couple of packages to interact with Solana from on the client side, right? So basically, there's client and there's program sides. But on the client side, there are a couple of packages. There's Kit, that's Solana's solution to Web3.js. A couple of things that were wrong with Web3.js. Not it works like it works, right, but it could be improved. So the the new improvements that were missing in Solana Web3.js came in Kit. So that's basically what Kit is. And as you can see, just to make a transfer, we have to get account. Let me see if I can create this out of this. I think I can. Yeah. Get this account instructions, get mint instruction, find ATA, PDA, find ATA, PDA. Then before you actually send the transaction, you see this is like how many lines of code, right? This is a lot of things to go through just to do. With legacy is it's shorter than that, right? Legacy is just, let's see to replace this. You airdrop yourself, confirm the transaction, blah blah blah. You get the ATA, create the account, create the account of the sender and the receiver. Then you transfer. So this is with a lot of that, a number of things that are not directly necessary, right? This is with legacy. This is with legacy helper. It became shorter with some helper functions, right? Yeah. But now look at kits. It's just a lot of code just to do a simple transfer, right? So Gil came to solve the problem of kits, to wrap things around, abstract a lot of things from the client side. So let me show you what Gil. Okay, I was on the page before. So pm add Gil or pm install Gil in documentation. I'm just waiting for people to come in with the questions. So before then, let's just get this out of the way. Create an RPC connection. Let me see tokens on Solana. I think it's this one. No, reference Solana Pay. Mm, let's see. Create a transaction. So yeah, this is if you don't want to send yeah, Mars is on the stream. Add to stream. Okay. I wouldn't call it Python though, because I don't actually like Python immediately, only if necessarily needed. Okay, yeah, but it makes life simpler for developer experience, right? And there's also the other solutions, right? There is Kite, there is, I think there are two others apart from Gil that came in newly to wrap around Kit. Yeah, but the one that's getting a lot of attention currently is Gil, and yeah, so it makes it just makes it easy. You see, if you check inside the Gil package, let me check if it's noted somewhere. You know, JavaScript client for some developers. So yes, Gil is built on top of Kit. So Kit was supposed to be a Web3.js V2, but the V2 is it was not smooth to integrate with, right? So Gil came up by the first one that started. I think that was, I can't remember his name, Nick. Yeah, Nick was the one that started the package, and since then it has gotten a lot of contribution from the community, from Solana Turbine. Also, there was a Git working group, so people made a lot of PRs to fix some issues. As part of the people that contributed to some things there, but it just makes a lot of sense and it's streamlined, giving you easier ways to do things, right? So this is it might not. I don't think this is it will be the gold standard because Kit is actually the thing powering this, right? But yeah, you get it. Just okay. Emma's how far now? How are you doing? Can you hear me? Can you test your mic?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm still alive. Surprisingly, yeah. So how Emma is one of the uh, let's say people that make noise about pre-builders on Twitter. He has been doing a lot of live stream also to show how far they've gone with the class. So can you give us an update on what's going on in pre-builders? What's the current state of things? How did you guys start? Well, just give us a rundown on everything.
Yeah, I think let's say preview started being fun. Yeah, everything was going smooth and all, and uh, until that was last week. We had was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. We had a lot to do. That's when we need to like work on the VOT program, work on escrow program, and what else? Yeah, so we actually had a lot to do then, which I was actually exhausted because I had to like juggle everything with work and a lot of other stuffs I had pending, which is why I've actually not been doing live stream also. But I should be back very soon once I'm done with everything I'm working on presently. So, the whole experience with the pre-builders, it's been fun having to like get to like catch up with things yourself and learn without any classes has been like an amazing experience to be able to like figure things out ourselves. Then presently we are supposed to like work on a project that's something that actually solves deal marketplace and stuff relating towards that direction. So using a scroll or probably minting of NFTs or something relating towards that direction. I'm still trying to figure out the project I'll be working on presently, but yeah, should maybe probably I will be building it on the live stream also, probably over the weekend. But
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
that's just the updates from me.
Yeah, cool. Nice. That's a lot of growing up to do because it's not a cohort with holding you by the hands and telling you what it will give you resources. Come and show us what you've done. So that is like a different approach compared to what other intensive and hands-on cohorts has been. So it's new. It's new. It's very experimental, and I'm surprised to see. And I'm impressed by the contents that you guys have covered so far. So someone was asking in the chat. I think this question was this: what do we have to do for the week four task? That was his question. I think that was Tiwari. Yeah. So do you have an idea of what this is?
Yeah, so I guess it's the whole stuff we need to build is based on like it's still based on the content we actually were given last week, which is relating to NFT, the marketplace, and every other things we've learned so far, leveraging that to actually solve a problem. So it may be maybe probably you want to build maybe a marketplace where people can actually leverage escrow to make transaction then without having to like do the manual negotiation themselves, or probably other solution that might actually leverage escrow and maybe NFT technology or stuff relating to that to like solve a problem. So it will be majorly I think the most compulsory stuff is to like work on the Solana program. Then if you now have much more time to like work on the front end, then you can do that. But for now, I feel most of the stuff is to do like your user story, then communicate it with someone else. Maybe you can just reach out to a friend in pre-builders or probably get to like know someone you can jump on a call with to like discuss about the whole idea. Then after then you can now like start working on your architecture, then uh, also how to like monetize the product to make it grow if possible. Then with that you can now like start working on your program. Then if you now have much more time after, you can also like take some time to like work on the front end.
Okay, cool, cool. So basically, Tiwari is go and build something cool with everything I have learned so far. So I think maybe you missed the where the information was sent, but that's basically it. Everything you've learned so far, the vault, the escrow, fundamentals of Solana, every single thing. So crush it and put it into something beautiful. That's basically what the task is. And if you have extra time, put a front end to it, right? So it has been about Anchor, about Rust, and about the whole Solana thing. So I say the whole Solana thing because Solana is a different mindset. Solana is not. Solana just feels different. The way the problems are solved is just a different ballgame entirely. So let's see. Let's see. Is anybody here with questions first before we get into? I was going to get into an example on Vault, an example on escrow. Try to
Yeah,
do
so before
okay.
yeah, can I quickly talk? Yeah, before we go into like the whole technical stuff, actually, I think one of the questions I've been like hoping to like ask is relating to the whole architecture related stuff. Because I'm not sure. Like we don't really we are not giving a concrete content towards that direction. How to like create architectural diagram for a
Oh,
program and all the. So if you can just briefly like put us through that, to be nice.
okay. Give me a minute. Let me look for a file if I can find it. I hope I'm guys are lucky enough to for the file to still be on my PC. Give me a minute. Let me look for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Yeah. Uh, I don't think it's there. Okay. Okay. Let me check. It might be my drive. Let me check my drive. Previous. My drive. My computers. My drive. Q3 turbine. Yep. Q3 turbine. I should have. Is it here? Is it here? So the one. Wasn't it? I think it's this one. I hope. I hope it's this. I hope it's this. Yeah, today's your lucky day. All right, so let me share this. Okay, so I'll use this example to show what is expected of an architecture diagram, at least for this stage, right? And I'm sure Collins can also put in some a few words here. So the whole idea of an architecture diagram is to bring out, excuse me, the technicalities about something, about what you're implementing into easily consumable documents. I want to build an escrow. I want to build a system. The system should be able to do this, should be able to do that. So I want to be able to write it out in a way that whoever I give this document to should be able to recreate the same thing, even if it's a different methodology, right? Be able to recreate the exact same thing and we'll be able to achieve the same thing at the end of it. The number of instructions should be the same. What what method does should be exactly the same thing because you are writing it out, yeah, straightforward and it's very easy to understand. This is like the blueprint of what your program is going to be like. And for now, you need to limit. You should limit. You can have the general architecture diagram, but you want to limit your architecture diagram for your program to the things that concerns your program. So, whatever entities are required in your program. Let's say you're building. Let me see if I have one example. Another example. Let think this one is yeah. Let me see if I
So,
have another example.
so if I get you now, what you are saying is, in an architectural diagram, what will be there will be the entities needed in a contract. Let's say I'm building a vault, or yeah. So the vault we have like all the entities that are supposed to be in a destruct for the program. Then now it actually connects to like interact together.
That's one thing. That's one thing. That's one part of it. It is. It's like you are building an house now, and you have a
Okay.
blueprint for the house. So anybody you give that blueprint to should be able to recreate that exact same house, every single thing. What
Okay.
blocks, amount, what number of blocks, what the roof will look like, what the number of couches will be in the interiors, everything, the details about. You want to spend most of your time trying to get this working, and it's surprising that once you have this one working perfectly, once you have this thing outlined, you're not going to be spending as much time writing programs like you would have if you did not draw this. So let me show another example. This one I was trying to see.
Okay.
I think this one. Yeah, yeah. So this is for my. I think this was my own capstone project. So what I did is you want to be able to outline every single entity that would be involved in this. This one is for an NFT marketplace. It's an RW NFT marketplace, right? So on the marketplace, we have the protocol. There'll be a protocol, there'll be an admin, and there'll be the assets that are trading, then the user. So you want to know you want to be able to figure out, break down your idea. Yes, you have to break down your idea into the most atomic components. Yes. So it's your program code, but
So,
it's in English. That's basically the way it is. So
so
now
can I say the first, like what you are showing now is the user story?
your user story will come before this. So your user story will be part of the components that you use to write your architectural diagram, to create your architecture
Oh,
diagram. So you would have done a
okay.
lot of research, a number of research. So what you've come up with your from your research, then you start pouring it out into how it should look like in human what's it called? Human relatable diagram. So now for this program I have the protocol. What will the protocol be able to do? And every single thing, every single instruction, you need to be outlined. You don't want to have two instruction on the same line. No, you say, let's say your protocol will deduct fees on every asset purchase, and your protocol shall deduct fees on asset sales. You don't want to say protocol shall deduct fees on asset purchase and asset sale. No, that you've just combined two things. So it needs to be specific and straight out as possible. So if you are collecting fees on
Okay.
asset purchase, collecting fees on asset sales, those are the two things the protocol will be doing. So the admin now, there will be an admin in your program. So you want to outline what the actions of the admin will be. These ones are the the high level actions. So admin will be able to initialize the marketplace state. That means the admin will be able to come and create a marketplace instance that people can trade. So the admin will be able to create NFT assets. So now the admin is creating a marketplace. Next thing, the admin will be able to list an asset. Admin will be able to modify the assets. Admin will be able to delete the assets. So those are four different things. So now, if you look at it, you now have four specific instructions here. You now know that when you're writing your program, there has to be a place where the admin will be able to create NFT, list NFT, modify NFT, you get, but we're not there yet. So on the assets too, what kind of asset will it be? Is it a fungible asset? What's the total supply? So every single detail that you're going to write, you're going to bake into code will be here. So purchase cannot be immediately transferred. Multiple user cannot own, multiple user may own multiple supply of the token. Then the user end, what will the user be able to do? User will be able to view the NFT in the marketplace, be able to trade or transfer. NFT shall be backed by, so whatever features that you want to bake into it. So once you've had all of that written out, so one, two, three, four, I think there are majorly four entities here, right? The protocol, the admin, the asset, and the user. Four entities. So now let's move on to this one is even just a very simple outline of it. You start with, now this is the admin. This admin guide I wrote here, all of his superpowers is this entity here. So the admin will be able to initialize one. So you're going to number your steps too. Because when you number your step, you need to be able to explain what the step is doing. That's what I did down here. One, admin initializes the marketplace, right? So now the admin will be able to initialize the marketplace. If the marketplace is initialized, so you'll be able to create or list or modify. If the marketplace has not been created, it has not been initialized, you create it, you initialize the marketplace here, specifying the fee of the marketplace, who is the admin, and the bump. Because we said the protocol will be able to deduct fees. So you need to put the fee structure into the architecture diagram also, right? So now these are the three actions that will be done on the asset. And we've already said what features the asset should be. Asset is non-fungible, the supply, the price will be fetched via oracles, the asset will purchase, blah blah blah. So we have all of those already. So we have can just have a basic mind map of how it should look like. The oracle will get the price via an implementation in your code. The authority of these assets will be the marketplace. If that's the design you're going for, right? You don't forget you've already decided what your design will be here. So drawing this is now easier for you. Then so 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5 is 5. Make it okay, user will be able to make a purchase, right? So let's see. I've explained one, I've explained two, explained three. So and along the way you're also giving us what exactly those steps and the processes that are required in those steps. Let's say an NFT listing marketplace, right? So created assets are listed in the marketplace for user discovery. Pricing is established through Oracle. We have said that, so asset becomes available. So anybody that takes this architecture diagram now, if they go to any other blockchain, if you want to write the same program on a different blockchain, they already have an idea of what exactly they have a total idea. If someone else is writing this program in a different blockchain, it's called smart contract there, it will definitely have all the things I've listed out here because this is the blueprint of what I said it should be, right? So that's basically how. So this one is a short one, a straightforward one. Because I already mapped out all these instructions. If I want to take it further, that's when I'll bring up this one. I've already done this. Then the overview. So the first step, like I did down there, user deposit token. So this is that
Yeah.
first step explained again. If you want to take it further, you explain those steps. Second step is minted to user. You go down again, minted to the user. Stake, yes, you stake and it's something is minted to you. Third step, you on stake. Fourth step, you distribute reward. So based on what you have said here, so the stake distribute your reward. So every instruction that I've now mapped out, if you want to take it deeper and explain it further, you have all those specific instructions outlined here also. But basically, anybody that takes this should be able to be able to rewrite the same thing, even if they don't have the source code, but they have this architecture diagram, they'll be able to rewrite every single instruction that is there. So that's basically the component of an architecture diagram. So let me see one final one. I think I have one more example. 1 minute. Yeah. Let's see. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah. Let's create the line. Then this. Okay. This was the one I did for Swift later on. Is it? Yeah. Oh, minute. Okay, it's not even done. I don't think I completed it. Then did I? We'll see. It's loading up. So this is that one. Okay, yeah. So this is another one that I was working on. I was working on a program for a platform that pays transaction fees, gas fees on behalf of the user. So I already had this one is not complete though. I already had it written out on paper. So most times when I want to start writing architecture diagrams, before I start typing, I write it out on paper. So I've written for all those other ones, I've written them on paper already. So this one too, I had written this on paper also. So now that gives me an idea of how this user journey goes, right? So step one, user signs up. Step two, user create a wallet. Step three, so this is the whole flow for the gas abstraction. So that gives you an idea of every single step. So if you want to implement this by yourself, you can already see everything as outlined here. And if you want to do it in a different blocking architecture, you will definitely still end up having implementing this because that is how you cannot build an house and have a different outcome if you use the same blueprint, right? So that blueprint will always give you that same outcome. So that's basically what it's about. Yeah, so it's there. Let me see if I can share this. If you need this, I can share this as reference for you to go through. But mostly you have references already there.
Yeah, I think later. Or probably if there's a template you guys were given to go to
Okay, I'll share
so
this my
yeah,
own. I'll share
okay,
my own as reference. 1 minute. Let me share this. Yeah. Okay, this was the second one I wanted to show, but I've not even done the application diagram of it. So this was another one I wanted to show. This one.
okay.
Now, this one is for I can't even remember what it is, but if I go through it, I'll remember what it is, right? So this one has listed out. There will be a platform, there will be a lister, there will be there are two type of listers, and there will be a user. And so now I already have four entities, one, two, three, four entities now. Then if I want to start drawing the diagram, I already have something to work with, right? So first you first need to write out all the entities that will be involved in this thing. Then in this process, then you now start with the architecture diagram. That would have the research would have preceded this one because you already know what an account is. You already know if you are dealing with Metaplex, you already know the constraint of Metaplex. If you are dealing with Magic Block, you already know the constraint of Magic Block. You already know the things that needs to go into the that's what your research is for initially, right? Before you now start putting this into these containers and drawing it out. So yeah, cancel. Do not save. Just leave that. Yeah, leave. Right. Let me see if I can share this my own here in the chat. I hope it's publicly available to see my own. Yeah. It's just a basic marketplace, honestly, but the way it's implemented to make it look like it's not basic. Everything is everything is an escrow, like Jeff would say. Every single thing in DeFi is an escrow. Anything that deals with moving money, that's a form of escrow inside of it. Let me get that here and in the chat. Mm, let me see. Okay, okay. Close all. Yeah, yeah. It's in the chat. So if you want to have a reference to that, that was the second one I shared. That's guild or that's what I use for my own capstone, right? So you can just give you an overview. Yeah. So that's one question. Architecture diagram. Then any other questions apart from architecture? Have I cleared all? Have I touched everything about architecture? I've not touched everything, but at least that will give you something to start with. Then this is important. What Colin said. It breaks down your idea into the most atomic components and makes you a program code look like English. So it's basically you writing out your program in English. And everyone else, because everybody understands English, like most people understand English, by the way. So anybody that can read and understand English will be able to re-implement what you have just done. So instead of them reading code, because code is not a universal language, right? Some might be writing Rust, some might be writing TypeScript, some might be writing Python, some might be writing. But if it's in an architecture diagram, believe me, if someone else wants to implement this off chain, they'll still be able to implement it based on your architecture diagram because the architecture diagram has already showed what exactly it should look like. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that about architecture diagram. Any questions apart from those questions? Let me see. I think that's all. Yeah. So let's see. Getting into Anchor. It's been a while, bro. I've been writing Pinocchio for. Let me see. Anchor. Let's start with something basic and straightforward, right? Vault. Vault. Yep. Wow. Crazy. Anchor PTSD. So let me do. Let's see. So once you get into Vault, right, and just like what this thing is architecture diagram, you also want to before you write your programs, like in the spirit of architecture diagrams, you need to have something to guide you when you're writing, even if you are speed writing code. Let's say, let me just Calibra. Calibra is like less formal. It's more, it's freely, it's free. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like easier to use. It gives you freedom, more freedom than Draw IO that I used. So what is okay? This is an escrow. An escrow. Let me just show that. Aha. So this is basically an escrow, right? What an escrow is a gate man, or gate man is like the wrongest choice of words. But let's assume it's a gate man, right? It's a how do I put it? Okay, let's assume a gate man. A gate man that secures and only allows things to happen when conditions have been met. So if it's a transfer, I want to you're telling me to make a transfer to you, and there's some certain conditions has to be so certain conditions should have been met previously before I can consent to transferring something to you or initiating a transaction to you, right? So that is basically what an escrow is. An escrow is like a secure environment that is a counterparty between two parties. So it's a middleman between two parties, basically. So this is an on-chain middleman. So Toby wants to send, he has Rapso and he wants to get USDC, assuming he's not using a swap. Even a swap is an escrow, right? So Toby has Rapso and he wants USDC. Phineas, on the other hand, has USDC and he wants Rapso. So Toby wants has two Rapso and he wants to get 400 USDC in return for his two Rapso. He writes the instruction into it's called a contract, right? A legal binding document. It's more of like a document. So he creates the document state and he deposits the Rapso that he has to exchange in return. So he deposits into the vault. So the escrow has a vault attached to it, and the escrow is the authority of the vault. Just like what the way the architecture of accounts are on Solana, right? You if you have a wallet now, and I send you USDC, the USDC cannot stay inside your wallet address, right? You need to create an associated token account for it. Yeah. So this escrow also has an associated token account that will be able to hold the tokens that are transferred. But let's just abstract that away and assume that is entering the escrow. You're sending to the escrow to so and you're telling me I'm sending to Rapso and I want 400 USDC. So whenever Phineas comes along, Phineas can interact with that same escrow because the escrow shows exactly the binding document, right? It shows the conditions that are binding this transaction. So Phineas has the exact maybe 700 USDC and he wants to Rapso and he sees an offer of Toby that he wants 400 USDC and is giving out two Rapso and Phineas needs two Rapso and is willing to pay that exact 400 USDC out of the 700. So Phineas deposits his 400 USDC and he gets his Rapso, right? So this is the make instruction where Toby, the owner of the initial contract, the contract initiator, comes along and makes an instruction to create an he created an offer, right? So that's what Toby did. Created an offer and deposited what he his own ask bid deposited to Rapso, and it's telling you you want 400 USDC back in return. Then Phineas comes to that same uh, contract binding document, and it's the take instruction. So take instruction is you saying I agree to this, and I'm taking what was deposited into this escrow, right? So that's what take instruction is. Get Rapso back. So this it eliminates totally the risk of a third party living running with your phone. Let's say this is a P2P escrow. This one on top is assumed to be a P2P platform. Then you transfer the money to Toby. Then you wait for Toby to transfer the USDC to you, and Toby never sent the USDC to you. So that is what an escrow is basically coming to solve. Just a simple implementation. You have a counterparty, you deposit to the counterparty is trustless, and you can also specify a time limit to this, that if after this period of time nobody, it's your contract, and if after this period of time nobody comes to deposit 400 USDC, I want to get my two back, you can have that. You are the initiator of the contract, right? So it depends on the person writing the contract. So if that is a feature that they are putting into it, yeah, if you come, you can say, okay, for this amount of time, after this time has elapsed and nobody has shown interest, I want my money back, right? So that's, you could do that. You have the freedom to do that too. That's basically what an escrow is. So what's a vault? A vault is just a place, let's call it a place, an account where you can keep stuff. So I have, this is this is a vault. A vault is just a box that you can keep stuff inside. So let me do.
Inspiration, can I quickly ask a question?
Sure, sure, sure. That's how I.
So,
Yeah.
uh, does that mean an escrow program will always have a vault too?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Every it needs to have a vault to save, to store what is storing. So that's why I explained escrow before I'm coming to vault. So a vault is just a place where you store stuff, whatever. So, and don't forget, with the account model of Solana, you can only store one type of asset inside one vault. So in
So
my Solana wallet, yeah,
an escrow can have multiple vaults.
if your program is designed that way, if your program is designed to only handle Rapsol and USDC, so your vault will be, you have a vault for where this thing is going to. So Rapsol. So because this is how it's depositing Rapsol, you have a vault for Rapsol. You don't need to have a vault for USDC because you're not keeping USDC here. Once this guy sends this USDC, is going straight to this guy, and the
Yeah.
Rapsol is going from your own vault to Phineas. So in this case, you would have a vault for Rapsol. So if you want the maker to have an escrow of different tokens, that's very possible too. So you create the accounts for those based on the token. So you will not have a constraint that I only want to accept this kind of token in my escrow, right? So you could have an escrow of multiple tokens too. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Okay. So let's put this on top, bring to front. Let me give it color. Sorry, I can't color background. That background opacity is 100. There's no color on it. Let's assume there's color on it, right? So this is a token. This is a vault. That's basically what a vault is. So this one should be, this is USDC. Then you can have another vault, duplicate the vault, and that vault will store Shiba, as in the Shiba there. But all of these have something in common, and that is, let's get this first. Let me do one duplicate. They have one thing in common. Let's call this one. Yes. So Alice, assuming the guys in Alice here, right? Assuming I have a Alice user. This is related to this, and the same this is related to this. So all these guys, both this USDC account and this Shiba account are attached to Alice. But why does Alice have two different accounts, and how does the blockchain know that this account belongs to Alice? Here comes the ideology of PDAs. What is a PDA? A PDA is, the full meaning is program derived address. They are deriving an address and it is owned by a program, basically. So now this guy, Alice, is, for every account on Solana, there will be an owner. Your regular account is a system program account, right? So the system program is the owner of that account, but you are the authority of the account, but the system program is the owner. Difference between owner and authority. Owner is, let's say I I have a car now, and I bought the car. I'm the owner of the car. I created the car. Yes, I created the car. I'm the owner of the car. I can give you that car. I can give you the car for you to use it, like take it. But who owns the car initially? I am the owner. But I'm giving you authority to use the car for as long as you want. You can just pay me some amount. Let's say tell you to pay me to use the car for 2 years. That's exactly what's happening on Solana. You have to pay rent to use your account. You're paying 2 years upfront rent, right? So that is basically what's happening. So Solana system program created this account for you, and you are paying rent for it for 2 years. You just pay it just a
So,
minute amount. That's
does that mean if you like deploy a program to and you pay the rent for maybe 2 years, after the 2 years, you now have to like pay another rent to continue
yes.
using it?
There's something called rent exempt. Rent exempt means you're not paying rent for that particular period of time. Let's say you paid rent for your house now. I think that's 1 year rent. So you're rent exempt for that 1 year. But on Solana, for it to be rent exempt, you have to pay 2 years rent upfront. But once your
Okay.
rent expires, you pay another rent. Simple, straightforward like that. Yeah. Then mostly, or should I say mostly? But yeah. So this is owned by System Program. Then this is owned by Token Program. The System Program is the owner of this. Is the owner of your normal your normal Solana wallet. This one is owned by a token program. So there are different token programs, majorly popularly two: token KEG, token KEG, and token what's the other one? Token 2022 and SPL token, basically. Regular SPL token program and token 2022 program. So this can be owned by the token program because it is a token account, and this is your system account that can get solo. So now this is derived from something. Both of them are attached to you, right? They are derived from some things called seeds. Seeds. So let's get into that. PDAs. I think this Ilias did a very good example, a very good explanation. Ilias explanation of PDAs. PDAs, not PDA, PD that, PD that. Yeah, what else than PDAs? Let's get to the meaty part. The meaty part. Meaty part. PDAs are like key value data store. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Get into what token accounts? PDA from identify tokens. Yes, this is what we're looking for. Is it this particular one? I don't think it's this. Like I was talking about authority, right? I don't think it's this particular blog. There was a blog about it. I wanted to give you something and explain that, but if we can find that in later, okay. Let's start from my state token account. State token account program. Yep. Blah, 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 blah. So, a state token account program. This program defines the convention and provides the mechanism for mapping the user wallet address to the associated token account they hold. Why is Solana going with this method? Why? Why is it that every account, every different account has every different token? If you want to have received a token, you need to create a different account for it. The problem is the bottleneck of the parallel processing. The way Solana does things is that assuming you want, let's say, if you want to make with EVM, right? EVM is just a big EVM ways of handling token balances is a big array, a map. So you have a program, and inside that program, you can say this guy has this balance, this guy has this balance. It's a long list. So they are storing it on chain, right? If two people now want to interact with that same token at the same time, they have to wait for each other, right? Because it's the same list. You are reading from the same list. That's the problem. But with Solana, since everything are all the accounts are not the account is not an array. There's no mapping that hold the list of all the accounts and their balances. I have an account. If you want to know my balance, you can just directly read my balance from my own account. If you want to know someone else's balance, you can read the balance because it's a different account but associated with their system account, right? So that's the solution that Solar is doing to it, bring into it. Let me see if I can map that out. Okay, it's already mapped out here. So if you want to check my USDC balance, you can easily check my USDC balance. If you want to check my Shiba balance, you can easily check my Shiba balance because it's a different account. You can just directly read this account and get the information you want there instead of having a long map. So then I think that is this one. So assuming yes, assuming you want to read this guy now, what you have to do is you do a for loop and you look through the whole array and look for my pub key and my amounts. That's it. What if you have 10,000, 10 million users, and the user you're looking for is at 999, 99,000, let's say around 99,000. So you have to go through every single, just that whole map before you get to me. And let's say you have like 10,000 transactions at the same time processing. So that's the reason why, the major reason why most Ethereum is not, or for DeFi is not as fast as Solana because of that problem. And Solana solved that with the account model. So every account has an owner, and you can have authority over the account. So what I was trying to explain, it's ATAs. So how is your ATA? How is your associated token account derived? Your ATA is basically a PDA. The PDA is a program derived address. So your ATA is an associated token account. So a token account that's associated with your system account. Your system account is your Solana wallet address. So there is an associated token account for that Solana wallet address. Right? This is basic stuff. Then how do we get the ATA of it? It's just basically from three things are called seeds. Yep. So it's derived from this associated token account is derived from three seeds, four seeds actually. Your wallet address, because you are the owner, the program ID of the token, that's the token program ID. If it's token keg or let me just check. I keep forgetting that. Token programs on Solana addresses. There's token keg and there's token. Let me just see. Token just yes, token keg, token keg. Yes, and token Z. Token Z is what I keep forgetting. Token Z is the um token 2022, and token keg was the holy grail that we've been using all this while. So this is the normal. What is token 2022? We'll get to that if we are going to get to that. And token 2022 token Z was the token that brought additional features to the regular token program. So there are two token program IDs. So then I get back to this. So if it's a normal token keg, like a normal SPL token, so the ID of that token, then the mint address, the mint address is like I said, everything's an account of Solana. Okay, I don't say it. Everything's an account of Solana. I'm saying it now. Every single thing is an account of Solana. Solana you don't store things on the blockchain. You store things in accounts. Solana is like a Linux drive, a Linux file, a directory. You have a file. You can store a file inside that file. You can store a document inside the file. A different kind of files, the executable documents, just like your Linux Windows operating system, your Mac operating system, your Windows operating system, right? But I don't like using Windows though. So you have files. You can access those files. It's like a folder structure. Yes, like a folder structure. So every single thing is like a folder on its own, and the folder can have executables like your exe files, right? Someone is trying to join. Someone tries to join. Okay. Oh, 1 minute. Okay. I was saying you can have an exe file inside a folder. You can have a doc file, a doc executable inside a folder. That's an executable file because you can open that doc file on Microsoft Word. If it's a PDF, you can. If it's an editable PDF, you can open it. So these are different kind of files, right? So for Solana also there are different kind of accounts. Yes. So everything is an account on Solana. It's a big folder. It's a folder and everything is an account. You can easily read from a file. You can easily read from. You don't have to, and everything is mapped out. there's these little tags on them that you can easily use to identify. Like in a library, you can easily know where to find what book because things are arranged orderly. That's just how it is in Solana too, right? So when you create a token, your token has a mint address, just like a contract address called CA in EVM, right? Contract address of the token. So there's a mint address for your token also, and that contains the information about your token, the supply, the decimals, the name of the token, all those mint information, right? So that's where that one is stored. It's inside its own specific file. So you need to tell us the file, that mint address. So this is what is creating. You're using to look for an ATA. An ATA is basically a PDA. So it's derived from this guy, your wallet address, the token program ID, and the mint address. Yes, and also SPL associated token program ID, ATA program ID. Also, I think this, yes, this is it. A token, A token G. That's the program ID of an associated token program. Everything is an account. So this is the account that handles creating associated tokens for you. So you have to put that there. That is the program I'm talking to, and these are the seeds for creating an account. So basically, that's just what it does. So when I'm telling you that I want an address for USDC. So USDC has a mint address. Yeah, I'm providing that. I'll provide my wallet address and I'll provide the token program address too. So those three seeds. So in this case, the three seeds here are my wallet address. That's a a public key. Then the next thing is the token program ID, I guess. I think. Yes, token program ID, then the mint address. Token program ID is also a pub key. Then the next thing is mint address. So that's the token CA, as we like to call it. It's also a pub key. So you have these three things to create your ATA. Then the program address, the ID, the the token, the program that's creating the token is your associated token program. So there's a program, one program that is deployed called the associated token program, and that's the factory that creates these tokens for you, create the addresses for you. It's called an associated token program. So that's the factory, that's the token factory that creates your addresses for you. So you pass all these seeds to someone trying to join, someone trying to join. Okay, bit cipher, join the party bit. You pass all these seeds to a minute. Okay, tell you how to try things. So you pass all these seeds to your architect token program, and it gives you a whatever. It gives you an address back. So that becomes the address of your token. Work with me, bro. Yes. So that's basically how it works, right? You have this guy, you provide all these things as seeds. They are called seeds, and you are passing them in an array of seeds, and the seeds will be deserialized into bytes. The beautiful thing about Solana is the beautiful thing about every virtual machine. Machines communicate. You don't speak language. You don't speak English to machines, right? You speak system language, and that's binary, right? And before binary, there are numbers. After on top of binary, there are number, decimal number. So everything that are communicating to your program, it will deserialize it and convert it into bytes. And what this wallet address is, a a wallet address is basically, let me show you what it is a byte of, outside this there are 8 and has length of 32. So this is what your wallet address will be converted into. So you have this three times. U8 is everyone know what a U8 is now. A U8 is an unsigned integer 8. Let's go up to U8 is U8 Rust. It's not even Rust, it's a general thing. U8 meaning no U8 size. Let's go to size. So you know what a U8 is an unsigned
It's
integer.
unsigned.
Yes, unsigned integer
Yeah.
8 bits, right? Can take 8 bits. That's and yeah, let me use Rust. And that's a maximum size. That's 255. And how do you get to 55? That's two.
If I
Yeah, how do you get to 55?
uh, times seven times seven or something like that.
2000 raised to the power of n. So let's look for
And
the whatever it is. Two times the size of not this one. This one. So you get 255. Coming bro, you just expanded now. You can get it in the Rust book though. Let me see. Rust book. Yes, you get Rust. You run away from that. Does the Rust book require VPN? Okay. I used to know this thing on my head. Because I played enough, played too much. How to calculate the size of the unassigned SPR? How to calculate the size of an how to calculate the size of integers. So that's it. That's what I'm looking for. Why is it taking forever to load? I think I need to turn off this VPN for a while. Yes, so the VPN. Yes, 2 raised to power n minus 1. That's basically the formula. That's what we're looking for. 2 raised to power n. 2 times n minus 1. So 2 times 2 raised to power n minus 1. I think all of this minus 1. So that's how you get the size of an unsigned integer. So 2 raised to power 8 minus 1 will give you 255. So the highest that this value can be is 255, and it can only have max length of 32. So that's what a public key is. If you get a public key, this guy, you can convert it back into bytes. But that's not what I'm going to do, right? But this is what the size of a public key is, this guy. So every single thing here is an unsigned integer 8 and has max size of 32. So that's 32 plus 32 plus 32. That's 64 plus 32. That's something and 8. Yeah, so that's what you are sending as bytes to this program, and it will give you does the mathematics on it and just gives you an address, basically. Yes, Collins has said it. I did not. That was like 4:06. Okay. That was 2 minutes ago. Your your chat did not show up on time. So that saved me the headache. Same thing here for U16 also. So you do 2 raised to power 2 times 16 this sense to get that so whatever the max amount is. Yeah, that's a long deep dive into the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole. Sounding. So yeah, we're talking about ATA. So this is how you derive your ATA. Your ATA is basically a PDA, and what's a PDA? Is an address that is derived. So how do you derive it? With some seeds. So you specify what seeds you are deriving the address with. These are the seeds in this case for an ATA. The wallet address, the token program ID, and the mint address. Yeah. So that's basically the seeds that are using to derive an associated token account for USDC. So yeah, that's that about PDAs and all. Oh, before we got here, okay, we wanted to explain vaults. We're talking about vaults. So now, in this case, for the escrow, the escrow, don't forget everything an account, right? The escrow in this case will be the wallet address. The escrow will have its own address. So this will be the escrow address, token program ID, and the mint address. So it will give you an ATA for that escrow. That will be the vault of the escrow. If I doing escrow, but now we're talking about vaults, right? So that's basically what the vault is. A vault is where you keep your tokens. So the vault is an ATA basically. An ATA is a vault. Thank you. It's not more complex than that. You don't have to take it more complex than that. Excuse me. Yeah, bit cipher. How's it going? You think you joined late?
Inspiration. Emas.
Struggling to hear you. The only thing I had was inspiration. And my mic is loud. Sorry, my speaker is loud. Can you
I
come
said
again?
GMJ. Sorry, I came in a bit late.
Yeah, so bit cipher is also a is also part of the pre-builders cohort at Solana Turbine. Decipher and Emma's they are part of the pre-builders cohort at Turbine currently. So let's see. What questions did you come with Decipher? Anything?
Yes, yes. Questions actually. So sorry I came in late. So my questions are actually
Okay, so let's
beginner
have
level
your first
questions.
question. Let's have
Okay.
it.
They are beginner level questions, as I've said, like beginner level questions. So I want to actually start with okay, I know a little about EVM and I think I know a little about Tron. So I wanted to ask how does Solana actually process transaction faster? So I think what Solana is bringing to the table, they said they're actually processing transactions faster and all that. So I want to know, understand the logic behind it, not just writing programs. I want to understand how the blockchain itself work. Check it. So if I can add that as my
Mm,
first question.
we actually answered that question for you, came in. I was talking about the account model, right? Is there a document? Let me see if I can encroach on this document that I created. I don't know where it is anymore, but let me just see. Docs. So the document that we did for a program. I think I have the right to use the document. I guess. I think I just use it for educational purposes, right? It's not financial information, not financial advice. Let me look for it. Look for it. I don't even know what the name is anymore. Okay, yeah, found it. This chapter was written by yours truly. I don't mean to brag. So the chapter is, I think this chapter. No, no, not this chapter. Yes, this chapter. Don't you ever forget this. Everything is an account on Solana. Every single thing is an account on Solana. Yeah, I think I should obfuscate this. Yeah, for now. No, don't obfuscate. Just leave it. Unless you're not kill me. It's still for the good of the community, right? So, yeah, I have exclusive rights to use the documents. Everything is an account on Solana, right? On Solana, all data is stored in what are called accounts. You think of an account, and all of this information are just from Solana docs. So just put it in a better way, like in a more concise way. You never forget this, everything, blah 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 blah. So these are all Solana skills. The whole thing is like a Linux file system. It should not be a surprise for you to see that I'm using a reference from my own document. So the whole thing is like a Linux file system, right? Like a computer that has folders. That's basically what it is. And files. Some files are executable. You can run them like an exe software in a Windows PC, your games, your Microsoft Word, etc. That's some kind of files are executable, like your program. You write a program, you deploy it on chain. That's an executable program, an executable file because you can write to it, you can read from it, you can call instructions on it. It's writable. Yeah. Some are read-only files, like the Sysvar accounts, system variable accounts on Solana. Those are read-only. They are add baked into the Solana environment at the initial start, so you can read from that. Those ones are read-only accounts. They contain the clock on Solana, the rent amount on Solana, all of those baked in information. Those are read-only accounts. Like, what example of read-only account do you have on? Let's see. Yes, your image, your picture. You have a picture. It's a read-only account. If you want to edit it, you can edit a PNG for crying out loud. That's a read-only account. Leave it at that. So it's a similar psychology. That's the way things are structured in Solana. So an account stores the program code, blah 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 blah. Trying to excuse me, I'm trying to get to the part where trying to get to the part where I talked about speed of PDAs. Okay, from before PDAs, I think let's just stay here for a while. Let's stay here for a while. So how I'm talking about okay accounts. I don't want to skip things. It's a document, but I don't want to skip everything again. So should behave as different accounts, blah blah. So if someone wants to send you some USDC tokens, right? It has to go to a separate account, a folder. So the separation of concerns contributes to the reason why Solana is very fast. Because everything is in its own different environment. You want to send tokens, looking at a different folder. You want to send USDC, even from it's a different folder from you sending Tron on Solana network. Different folder, right? So you don't have to be on a queue before you get to what you're looking for. Everything is in their own different folders, and you have access to read from them or write to them, right? So that gives you one way immediately. That immediately scales parallel transactions. So different people can be in the library at the same time because they are not talking to the same book. They are not trying to read from the same book. All the books are on the shelves, and you can just get from what you need at the same time. That's one reason, one immediate reason why Solana is fast because everything is abstracted as abstract. Everything is separate as an account. So most everything is an account basically. Folder structure. So you want to send USDC, you speak to the USDC folder. You want to send USDT, speak to the USDT folder. Every single thing is an account. And like I said, 32 bytes address. So the max size is 32 and it's 8 bits. So base 58, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So an account on Solana, a folder, a file on Solana has this structure. The Lamport is the amount of soul that it holds, right? The data, if it's holding any data. So how do you know one thing? How do you know a system account from a PDA or the answer to my question is basically is a system account does not usually hold data. Let's say I'm sending money to you. I'm sending USDT to you, sending Sol to you. I'm just sending that Sol directly. It's not like I'm writing anything to the account. I'm just changing the LAN ports. So basically, there's no data inside a system account. The data there is empty, but your LAN ports will change. The number of the balances that you have will change, right? Because you're sending. So to have an owner, and it will have from the information if this file is executable or not. If it's executable, if the account is executable, you have to be true. If it's not executable, to be false, right? Then the rent approach. So when will your next rent be due? Answer to Emma's question, right? We are also storing when your next rent is due. So rent approach. So that's basically the information of a typical account, so this regular account on Solana.
So do you have control over when the rent is going to be due?
So you are paying for 2 years of rent to keep this account alive. So that's basically what. So there's something called being rent exempt. Rent exempt means when you are coming to collect rent, it's just like using prepaid meter now. If PHCN are coming to collect money for electricity, the fact that you are using prepaid meter and you are paying for your own power, yeah, and that do not come to you to ask for power for money for electricity, right? That's basically the same thing. So if you are rent exempt, that means you have subscribed on your meter. Nobody is coming to ask you for rent. You don't have to pay rent again for that till the next 2 years. You are paying for 2 years amount of rent upfront. To and basically because your user account, your regular account does not have any data, you're just paying to keep the account alive. You're not paying for any data inside it because it does not have any data inside. It's just an account that has LAN ports and there's an owner and if it's executable or not. Basically, that's what it is. But if you have data inside the account, you need to pay for the space of that data also. So that will be calculated to tell you how much your rent is. So every account has a size, right? There's a size for accounts. So accounts can store up to 10 megabytes. It's like megabytes, but it's not megabyte. This one is complete 1024. No, it's a 1024 bytes make 1 kilobyte, right? So MIB stands for megabytes, which is a binary unit of blah 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 blah. 1048, 1048.57, not 1024, 1040. What am I looking at? 1 million bytes, okay. 1,048,576, whatever that is. So instead of rounding the numbers up to zeros, we have the exact figures that are required. Note when you are doing with data storage, there is, you say if you have a memory card that is 1 gig, the 1 gig might just be 1000 MB, and they tell you that that 1000 MB is 1 gig, but actually it should be 1024 megabytes that will give you 1 gig, right? So it's the same thing. So maybe byte will give you the exact amount of bytes, not rounding it up to 1000. That's just basically what the megabyte is. So you can store 10 megabytes of data, maybe bytes, maybe, not maybe, maybe bytes. You can read about that if you want to read about it. Let me just share maybe bytes versus megabytes. If you want to check, I think it's a document, a research paper. Let me share that in the chat real quick. If you want to check out, but I don't think that's very, very important, but it is. If it's not important, the author of this file will not have kept it there. So the author must have deemed this thing important, so that's why he kept it there, right? So who knows? Let me share that here. A lot of resources. Yeah, keep track of them. Yeah, I shared it now in live chat. I should even have these things in comments. If the stream ends, that's all. Nobody can have access to. Nobody can have access to the data anymore. I'll try to share them in comments too after we're done. Yeah, so that's the link to this information. Yeah, blah 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 blah. 1 minute. Trying to make sure. Oh, I still schedule. What the fuck is excuse me, language? Yeah. So that's all about that. Let's get back to what we're talking about. So now, the fact that when you want to get information, you want to write something. It's not you are not waiting in a queue to execute your to execute your instruction. If you want to speak to this, there's a different program. This one is on a different program. This one is on a different program. So when you want to get information, you go directly to what you're looking for. You don't have to wait on a queue. I keep saying queue because it rings bells for work people. But yeah. We're not talking about that today. So did I answer that question? I don't know if I did, but I think I.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's one way. But if you want to look it up, you can still make more research about that. So token programs. Let me get to token programs again before we were talking about token programs before you joined the stream, right? So token programs. Remember how we said everything on Solana is an account, right? Well, token programs is like the boss account that governs how all tokens work on the network. Think of it as a rule book, or better yet, like the Department of Motor Vehicle for tokens, like the DMV for tokens. This is the one that is controlling, not controlling, the one that I don't want to use the word control. The guy that has, hey, control. Let me just leave it as control. So it's the one in charge of everything that has to do with tokens. And we talk about two token programs, right? The token keg and the token Z. Token Z is the token 2022. That's the proposal that came in 2022. Then token keg is the regular SPL token program that we knew, right? The token SPL token program and token Z as token 2022. Yeah. So what's the difference between these programs? The token program was the original token program, token keg, that was created for handling tokens, any token that's not the base token, just like ERC20 tokens on EVM, right? That's what the token keg is. But now we found out that there was need for other things that a token could do. Especially you want to have other effects. On Solana, if you want to deploy a token, you don't write any code for deploying a token. There's already You don't write a program to deploy a token. You just call the mint instruction handler, because there's a built in way token should look like in Solana. There's already a blueprint of how every token should look like on Solana, just like the ERC20 blueprint, right? But what happens if you want to modify or add some features to what your token can do? Well, you can't directly. That was what token 2022 came to solve. So, giving with ERC20, you can have an ERC20 token. You can declare that this program is ERC20 in Solidity, right? You can declare that contracts, blah blah blah, is ERC20. You can tell us that. Then inside the program, you can now put your own inside the contract, because smart contracts on EVM, right? Inside the smart contract, you can now put your own custom logic. You want to charge fees in that amount, in that token amount. You want to call another program when you transfer. You can literally write your own code as a smart contract and deploy it with an ERC20 wrapper on EVM. But Solana, with the SPL token, you cannot do that, because the SPL token is baked into the Solana engine. This is how it should be. So token 2022 came to solve that. It has a proposal to give normal tokens superpowers, and it's a new hot thing now. And that's why it has recently gained more adoption, because industry players who want to have extra features on their token. Let's say PayPal will want to say, okay, this guy account has been banned. He should not be able to transfer. They have blocked him. They have blocked him from making that transfer. You can do that inside your token program. Now with token 2022 as token extensions. You can blacklist this person from transferring. You can call something else after your token transfer happens. You can charge fees. So all of those beautiful things is what token 2022 brings to the picture. So that is the second token program. But the initial token program, which was the OG token program, is a token KEG, token KEG. Yeah, so that's token program. So if you want to create an associated token account, an associated token account is a token program account that belongs to, let's say belong, yeah, that belongs to you. This is your normal regular, this is your regular Solana wallet address. It's owned by system program, right? Then, if you want to receive a token, you have to create an account for that token to stay in. Mostly, the person transferring the token to you will pay for the creation of the account on your behalf. If you don't have that, so it's just a small amount for the account to be rent exempt. We talk about rent exemption, right? So you pay for the account to be created, because you're interacting with this executable program, associated token program, and does the computation based on the seed, because it will tell that this is the person that is receiving the money, the token, this is the token address, token ID, token keg, and this is the mint address of the token that you are sending. So it gets to the ATA program, and the ATA program creates an ATA for Alice, even though it was Bob that sent the money, because Alice does not have where to receive it. Someone has to pay for where to be received, right? So Bob pays for that in this instance. So you have to create an account where this will live. So that is an associated token account. It is token account that is associated with your regular system program, your system account, your own wallet address. So it is created. I told you everything is an ATA is basically a PDA. They are specifying the address, the owner of it, the program ID, the mint, and the program the program that will create this for you. So that's the SPL program, SPM associated token program. So there's a token program that deals with creating associated token accounts. There's a program that specifies what this token can do. That's the token program. There are two types, basically, popularly two types. There's the SPL token, regular SPL token, and the token 2022. So inside of those programs, they specified what this token should be able to do. It can be on top of that if it's token 2022. Then the mint address and all. So that's basically about I said token account, token program, and PDA. So you might have guessed that if Solana is creating an account for you, then where is the private key of that account? No, for every account there should be a private key, right? If you create a wallet address now, you have that wallet address. There's a private key for that wallet address. But now you are getting an account on chain. Where is the private key? So that's what PDAs are about. Let's get to PDAs. PDAs are called program derived address. I think I wrote about it too. Yeah, let me just check my doc. PDAs are program derived address. So here is where Solana gets really clever. What happens when a program needs to own an account? Programs can't have private keys, right? So you have a program that is living on chain. Does it have a private key? No. So how do they now own and sign transaction on behalf of other accounts that they've created? Because if the token program created an account for you, so which transfer you're not the one that created the account. So you don't have the private key to the account. So how does all of that work? So that's where PDA come in. So PDA is an address, is like an automatic address generator that creates or derives. So the thing is, if it's just is deterministic, it's deterministic. So if you have 2 plus 2, you always get 4. If you have 2 plus 2 plus 1, you always get 5. If you have 2 plus 1 plus 2, you always get 5. 2 plus 1 plus 2 is not supposed to come out there because that's counter what I'm trying to explain, counterintuitive. But if you have 2 plus 2 plus 1, you get 5. If you have 2 plus 1 plus 2, you don't get 5 in this sense because it's okay. Okay, let's just assume that did not come out of my mouth, right? So 2 plus 2 plus 1 will give you 5. 2 plus 1 plus 2 will give you 5. 4 plus 1 will give you 5. It is deterministic, right? So that's the same way PDAs work. If I have, if I have, Excalibur, if I have my wallet address plus token program ID plus the mint address, it will always give me this address. But these are the seeds that were used to create it. So it will always, even without creating it, I can just derive it. I can, okay, there's find, there's derive. The words that are used interchangeably, but they mean different things, right? So as if this account does not exist, I can look for it on the curve, something called a curve, ED25519 or something. Curve. There's a curve that, yes, ED25519. So there's this curve where all these addresses live on. So that is where every address that lives on that curve has a private key. Every address that lives on that curve has a private key. But for PDAs that don't have a private key, there needs to be a method to. So I'm going on the curve now. This curve, this address has a private key. There needs to be a way for me to derive an address that does not have a private key, so I can bump it off curve. I can push it off the curve, right? So if I'm bumping it, if I'm going off the curve one, so that means I need to be able to pick. If I bump up the curve just once, like maybe one or twice, before I was able to create that address. So that's something called a bump. So your bump is a store, is a record. When you drive an account, now you need to know how far away from the bump, how far away from the curve you were before you got that account. Because on the regular curve, there is a diagram. There's a diagram for that. Not Ilios, not Ilios. There's a very good curve example. PDAs, PDAs and curves, PDAs and curves Solana. I think it's from the regular Solana docs. PDAs and curves Solana. That will give you, there's a graphical representation of it there. Yes, I think it's this one. Yep, yeah, boy, beautiful curve. So this is an ED25519 curve. This is Bob's wallet, is on the curve because it has a private key attached to it, on the curve. Alice's address is also on that same curve. That's a wallet, that's a private key attached to it, right? So if I want to create a PDA, I need to find a way to push this thing off the curve to derive something outside of it. So the farther I go from it, let's say I bump one, twice, thrice, four, five, six, seven, blah blah. Two. You can only bump. Don't forget we're dealing with U8 here. They can bump with 2.5. What's the highest number of a U8? 255, right? Yes, so you can go 255 bump. That's the bump figure that was used to derive it. So that's basically what I'm trying to explain, right? So think of bump as the farther you go from the curve. So a PDA is intentionally derived to fall off the curve. That means it does not have a corresponding private key and cannot perform cryptographic operations such as providing a signature. However, Solana enables programs to sign for PDAs without needing a private key. So that's where we're going to now. Let me look for an example. Is there another chat there? Is there another chat here? Yes. Muhahaha. So now, if you are finding a PDA, so with the seeds that we provided and a program ID, the program ID that you're communicating with, right? In this case, this is the associated token account program ID. So I provided the seeds, that's my wallet address, the token program ID, and what's the third thing? Let me check again. My wallet address, token program ID, and the mint address. Yes, the mint address. I provided those three seeds. Where was I? I provided those three seeds and the program ID. So to start from the first bump, that's 255. That's the max U8. So starting from the max 255, then start counting down. So if he finds the address with this bump 255, he checks, if I use this bump, will I get an account that does not have a private key? So it checks if a valid PDA is found. Yes, it will just return that PDA and the bump that was used to create it, and the bump that was used to push it off the curve. It will return those two to you. If not, it will remove more. It will subtract one from it. So you were at 255 bump before, subtract one, then you have 254. It tries to create it again. So if found, it returns. If it does not find it, it will subtract one again. Now you're at 253. So to keep going, keep going until it finds a bump that will the push off the address from the curve. So that's how a PDA is created, right? Canonical bump. A bump seed is an extra byte appended to optional seeds. Blah, 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 blah. That's basically what I just explained. A bump. That's a bump is. So this is how it looks on, like I said, everything we are communicating with the program. We are communicating with the program in bytes. So this is the seed here is hello word, a string hello word. So I'm converting that hello word string into bytes. That's what buffer from is. So you create a buffer from this string, and the next thing is also the bump. So this is how it works. It's doing a for loop from 255 to 0, then decreases till you get. So if you have a bump, it returns the bump and the PDA. If not, it goes through the for loop again until it finally tells you it cannot find an address for you. But that's basically not possible. Has not hit that yet. Yeah, so that's how a PDA is derived, right? So now we understand how PDAs are derived.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
So possible we, as you said, it's not possible. We want to act again. So is there a possibility of we going through the whole loop, not finding an address?
It has not happened yet. Yeah.
But is it a possibility?
I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible because why is it not possible? They're like it's not just assuming you have something like your seed is one. Let's say the only seed here is one, like one as a byte. But now your seed is not one. Your seed is a random blob of characters. Hello world is a big byte array when you convert it to buffer. So this round is not random, but this cryptographic, yeah, cryptographic effects, the possibilities are endless. So it will always give you, let's say you have a probability curve now, and you have a probability of something being 90%. Is it easy or less than 99%? Is it easy for what's the probability that you can get that 1% out of that 99%? It is let's say 0.00000. So that is the probability that you can get an that you will not get a PDA if you derive it from the bump. So you always get it. Always, most likely. So look at this one, expected outcome. So when you started with 255, example, excuse me, you have invalid seed. That means the address it's found here could not, the address you found had a private key. So you leave that. You try again, find another address that does not have a private key, shows that to you. Find another address that does not have a private key, with 253 bump, with 252 bump, with 250 bump, with 251. At 250 again, it has one that has a private key. It shows the error. So this one is like going through everything from 255 to zero. But mostly you want to return instead of logging out, you want to return it. But you're not doing this right. There's already a helper function called find program address. So there's create program drive address. There's also find program address. So find program address is doing this create program address for you. Yeah. So that's basically what's going on there. So if you already know the bump, if you already know the bump, you can just derive program address with the bump and the program ID. So if you have the address already and you already know that this bump was what I used to create this address, you can pass the bump and do a derive on it and you get it. Yeah. Any other questions? So that's PDAs. That's PDAs, bumps. No.
Yeah, so I get that. So now,
Yeah.
how does the PDA now cycle actually for?
Yes, let's get to that. Now, the beautiful thing is, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I was explaining here. Solana account model. Yep. Yeah. Aha. So now, this is a regular account, right? Lamport, data, owner, is label, blah, 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 rent a port. There's an owner field here. So, but because a PDA does not have a private key, the owner here is not expected to have a corresponding private key too. But if you provide the seeds for this account, that's what is happening here. If you want to transfer, okay, before that, if you provide the seed for this account, it takes those seeds and derives the address, and the program, as long as you're inside the same program that created the account, that program can make the transfer on behalf of the user. Yeah, so that's it. So the program is the one making the transfer on behalf of the account. So let's say we are doing a vault. Let's see, escalator. Are in a vault now. Token program, token program account is the owner of this token program, of this program account. So token program is the owner of this token program account. Then token program is, yeah, now you have the seeds that token program used to create this account, right? And it is said that you are the owner because inside it was written that you are the owner because you created it. You're the one that initiated the creation. Let's say Bob made this transfer to you. You're also going to provide the owner here. So it's part of the seeds, right? You're just saying is that you are the owner. So you can make a request to token program because you are the owner. You make a request to token program. A token program can make transfer on behalf of you because it wasn't that created it, but you are the owner. So you are making a request to that token program. Token program can now remove funds from inside this account because it was one that created it and you are the owner. So if any other person comes with your own address, even though you know the seed, everybody knows the seed of this address is public, is you can derive it, right? But because the person is not specified as the owner inside the account struct, token program will throw an error that you do not have permission, you don't have authority over this account, even though you are giving it to me. And this is the wallet address, and this is the seed for the address. This is the address, and this is the seed for the address. I know the seeds, I know the address. So take transfer money from inside that account. It will check if you are the owner. You are the one signing the transaction. So you check if the signer is the owner of the account. If you are not the owner, it will fail. That's basically how it handles it. So you're making a request token program. Token program is transferring on behalf of the account. So it's not like you're the one transferring it, even though you're the owner, but you're the authority. But it's the token program that created it that will transfer out of it. So that's basically how it works, right? You understand that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's see what else, what else, what else. I don't think we will to write code today. We're almost 2 hours in already. But we can do a vote. I'll do a vote example by the next 15 minutes. Can we? Can we not? Can we? Can we not? Is there another question? Before we see if we can write a vote ASAP. I want to write it from scratch. I don't want to give you an example. So you get the mental model of what we're doing.
Uh, before we go on to answer, I have one more question. So just like the
Okay?
we have on Ethereum, we have
I can hear you. Yeah.
alright. So as like the way on Ethereum, we have smart contracts. So on Solana, it's called programs, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that means everything we are doing on the Solana system, that's why we call them programs.
Yeah, it's
And
called. Okay, is that the question? That your question is it called program or Solana, right? Is that the question?
yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's called program on Solana. Basically. It's because the thing is different, so we don't have to call it the same way it's called on EVM. They came in with the smart contract and all, but we're like, we're doing something different. We have a different account model. We're writing programs. We're writing Rust is a very serious language, right? It's not something. It's not all fun and games. So a serious language and a serious environment should have a serious name to it. So this is a program. Yeah. So you want to ask Tony. You want to ask Tony why? Let me DM Tony for you and ask why it's called programs on Solana and not smart contract. But it just feels good. Feels good to call it programs because these programs. Yeah. Someone else just joined the stream. Tech with Jewin. That's Aki Farm. How you doing, bro? Godwin, can you hear me? Hello.
Alright, so another
Hi.
question.
Okay.
So he said um every account needs to parent for it to be active.
Want to create? Listen now. I have a private key. I created a wallet now on let's say Soulflare or Phantom. I have that wallet address, but there's no account for that on the blockchain. It's not registered on the blockchain yet because I've not deposited into it. So that wallet exists off chain. For the wallet to be recognized on chain, I need to parent for that account. So that's basically it. So you have to parent on accounts because it needs to take storage space on chain. So you have to parent for storage space while keeping it active. Yeah.
Alright, so that means he just said something now. So if I go to Phantom and I create a wallet, I have a wallet address, a Solana
Yes.
wallet
Off chain.
address.
Off chain.
Chain.
So you were breaking and you are still breaking. You are speaking at 2 frames per second. Gordon, can you hear me? Can you hear him? Or can you hear me? Is it my internet? Gordon, could you hear what Bitsafa was saying? Okay, anybody in the audience, did you hear what he was
Can you hear me
saying?
now?
I think he was speaking at 2 frames per second. Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now.
2 frames per second. It's really okay. I'm gonna let that slide.
All right, what was your question?
So I was saying, so basically, are we saying that every account address is an account on Solana?
Every
That's my question. Every wallet address is an
no, no, no.
account
I
on
know you.
Solana.
If you have a wallet address now, for it to be registered on Solana, it has to become an account on Solana. So you create the account for it on Solana. Yes.
So that means even the
So let me
tokens,
do. Let
the
me see if
wallet
I can
address,
do.
everything we do on Solana are accounts.
Yeah, every single thing on account. See, that's what I said. Yeah, I said never forget. You forgot now. Never, ever, 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 ever forget this. Everything is an account of Solana blockchain. Every single thing is an account of Solana. Just forgot you violated rule number one. It was stated right on the top. Everything is an account of Solana, and you violated the rule. Oh yeah, so that's it. Everything's an account. Mm, any other question? Question. Before we go to, okay, I wanted to demonstrate. Let me just demonstrate that real quick.
Yes, yes. So I can ask more questions on there.
Let me see. I have this account here. Phantom. Okay, my Phantom account, right? Phantom. What's my password? I can't remember my password. I think yes, that's the thing. It's on DevNet already, so don't worry. So now let me create a new account. I'm creating a new wallet, right? So add account. Blah 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 blah. Create a new account. Blah 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 blah. Create. Now this account is the wallet address basically. It's not an account, registered account or something like that. So if I copy, where is it? Receive, yeah, wallet UX. If I copy this guy, it's called A7. If I copy A7 and I go to source scan, devnet. If I copy A7 and I come to source scan, oh, I'm behind the VPN. That's why. So if I come to source scan and I paste this address here, address one, but you see, there's nothing here, like zero, even though it's on curve. On curve means it has a private key, right? So you can determine that it has a private key. If you do the C derivation, you know that it's on curve. That means it has a private key, so it can pick that up. But this account does not exist. How do I know that it does not exist? Because there's nothing on it, no single thing on it. This account has not been created. So let me transfer to this account now. Let me transfer Soul to this account. Hey. So Control T. Let me transfer from my Solana. Transfer, transfer 0.5 so to this brother. I think that's it. Okay, recipient address has to come before the amount, not airdrop. Airdrop, the amount come before the recipient. See address. So let's do on DevNet. I want you to look at what the transaction is saying. Let's make sure that passes first. Okay. Because now you see, because this account has not been created, I need to specify and tell the RPC that this account has not been created. So this transfer should create, let me create this one. So this transfer should create this account. So I need to add a tag, a flag, allow unfunded recipients, right? So now I try to make a transfer of 0.5 so to A7, but A7 does not have the account created on chain. So Solana is not aware of this account. So I need to tell it that yes, you are correct. This account does not exist. So create it. So when I make the transfer, yes, so that's successful, right? If I come here, I refresh, I think I would like to use Ilios RPC instead, Ilios Explorer instead. Yeah, you will see this transfer. Inside this transfer, you will see something. Transfer from this to this. Is it on legacy? It's on legacy. A minute, a minute. System program for destination. Mm, coming. Let me see. I'm looking for a create account instruction. I should have been called on it. Yeah. So wait. Am I paying rent for this now? Let me just check A7 first. Okay. Let me use Ilios Explorer. I think it's called Ob. Yep. There you go. The UI is neat. So search for this guy. On DevNet. Yep. Reload this page, bro. Why are you trying to do that to me? History received 5 so 0.5 so see advanced details. Aha. Instructions, system program, transfer 0.5 so to this. The reason why this is not showing create account, there's an instruction that should be shown because the account was created, is because more, I paid enough, more than enough to cover for rent. So now this account is rent exempt. Yeah, so what I'm looking for is now actually here now. Let me go at that. Let me see, check 1 minute. This is summary. Is there on summary available balance, priority fee, no priority fee slots, continuation, cash, analyzed. Yeah, but basically the account was created. Now this account exists on chain. If I try to make another transaction now, it would, if I remove this unfunded recipient, say 0.1, and I transfer. Now it does not tell me any, it's not giving me any problem, right? Let me see this now transfer help if there's a create there. CPR. Okay. Okay. I think I know now. I know why. You're not creating this one because it's owned by a system program. But if it's a token transfer, yes, that should show me what I'm looking for. Um SPL. I have some tokens here. SPL token list. Is it list? Is it list? SPL token help help me. SPL token. So there is a accounts. Yes. SPL token accounts. Oh, I've already a lot of tokens. So this is one token. Yeah, this is another token. This is another token. So let me
That's
do.
a lot of tokens.
Yeah, I'm rich in DevNet, bro. I'm a millionaire in DevNet. Let me transfer this guy from.
So while you're doing one thing I really don't know about Tonga is the way they give us access to test local net. That's just solve a lot of problem.
I did not hear that. He said the way what?
I said the way they give us access to test locally and all that live
Yeah.
functions,
CLI is OG. CLI is goated. CLI is goated. And there's a TUI. There's a terminal UI too. Is there a terminal UI for this? I think someone made a terminal UI for this. I think there's a terminal UI for this. Yeah. SPL transfer. So it's like a UI on your terminal. Godwin, I can hear myself. I think your mic is. I listen to the stream again. Can I mute Godwin? Yeah, you muted now. Yes. Yes, we are talking still transfer. Transfer. So this is the mint address, right? 20. So this is the mint address. Then I'm more down to transfer. I want to transfer 100 to this guy. A7, right? A7. Transfer 100 to A7. Yes. And this, yes, recipient architect, fund recipients. Again, this account does not exist. I need to fund the recipient. Like I told you, when I tell you, every account needs to exist for someone to know that the account is serious with business, right? So this account does not exist, right? So I need to create it. I need to fund the recipient because the recipient does not have any balance. Just like I did there to allow unfunded recipients. So this one now I'm doing fund recipients. So if I fund, I'm transferring this now, funding the recipient. So this is my recipient address. This is my ATA for this token. For the token, this is the token contract address, mint address 2039. This is my ATA for 2039 for A7. So A7 is the wallet address, and this is the ATA. This is where the money will stay. This is where the token will stay because it cannot stay inside here, right? I wanted to show something. Let me refresh. Yeah, it will not show here directly. I don't think it should show here directly. Oh, it did. It did. Because there's a transfer. I just got in leaving and coming back. Okay. Let me show. Is it this? Yeah, this transfer checked. Inside the transfer checked, you will see what I was talking about. Yes, you see, SVD was the account here. SVD. I need to create this account first, right? So created the account for me. Create idempotent. Create idempotent means create if it does not exist. So if it existed, just fetch it. If it does not exist, you create it. So that creation is you are paying for fees for it. So this is where this account is. This ATA is created for me. The reason why I'm not seeing it in the normal token transfer is because I think because it's system program transfer. But if it's not a system program transfer, like this one is a token program transfer, right? You have to create the accounts and you pay for the rent for the account also. The account existing, and now this is the transfer of to A7, but the ATA is SVD, and the amount that was transferred is this 100 20 39 token. So that's basically it. So if you check all the instructions here, yeah, so you get the list of all the instructions here. Yeah, so you get the list of all the instructions here. This is the ATA. This is the ATA program. Like I told you, yeah, when you create an account, this is the ATA program that did the magic to create this account for me based on my wallet address. So if I check the accounts that have passed, you'll see similarities in places. Yeah, so this is the account that was created, SVD. This is the mint of the account. This is the person that sent it. So because I'm creating an account, I need to involve system program. And because I'm creating a token account, I need to involve token program. But previously, you'll see that the only thing that was involved in that first transaction is the system program because I'm only creating a system account. But it did not show a create, yeah, this first one. You will see that by involving the system program, right? Yes. So, but now we're going to create the account, then we're going to create the token account. Because I'm creating the account, the system program must know that I'm creating the account, and who is the one creating the account? Token program, right? So the token keg, normal SQL token. So if I highlight this, you see that it's the same thing. This token keg, normal SQL token, is involved in the creation. This is the instruction that was called by system program. So yeah, telling system program to create the account for you. This is the account address that was created, who initiated this, the amount that was transferred to owed for rent. So this is the rent amount, right? You are transferring. No, we did not transfer so. We transferred 100, tokens. But we have to pay for rent for this account for it to be created and for it to stay rent exempt. So that's this. How do you calculate how much account is needed? It is, I think it's 0.0006 per byte. Let me see. 0.006 sol per byte. Let me check. Solana storage cost. I don't think it's 0.0006. Solana storage cost per byte. I should have added per byte there. So yeah, sorry. It's zero per year. It's 0.00000348 sol per byte per year. So for 2 years, it's 0.000006 sol. So you're paying for rent for 2 years, right? So per byte. So how many bytes this account needs? Multiply it, and you get your. So now this rent exempt minimum for a token for regular account is 0.001. So now you calculate. So now you can be able to calculate, understand what is going on here. That's why we have this 0.002 0.000 blah. So that's 0.001 for 2 years. Is this 0.002? 0.001 for 2 years is 0.002. And you understand how the rent is calculated, right? So, what else? What else? What else? What else? Then this is token program, token keg that is involved in the creation, and I'm initializing the account, telling you that this is the address of the account, this is the initial owner, this is the owner. So initialization owner is this guy. Initialization account, not initialization now. The initialized account is this, then the owner is this. Now you see that if I want to make transfer now, the transfer that I made, so after I created the account, because the account did not exist before, I first need to create it. That's the first instruction. But I just did one single instruction, I did it for me. So the first instruction was to create the account. Second instruction was now to do the transfer. So inside the transfer, this is the program I'm talking to. I'm saying now, okay, this was the guy that made transfer is this guy, right? This is the authority of the transfer. So I'm communicating with this program. I'm not communicating with my own wallet to make the transfer, right? I'm communicating with this program because this is the program that created the account. I was saying before, if you want to, the reason why it does not have seed, you need to know. Let me try to add the cipher again. Are you? Can you hear me now? Yeah. So I was saying this token keg is the one we are communicating with to make the transfer on our behalf, and we can tell you to do that because we are the owner here. If I'm the one, if this is the account that is making transaction, this account calls this and it shows it that okay, yeah, this is the authority. I can make transfer, right? So I'm telling you to make transfer for me. You created the account. I don't have to keep here because this is not a it's not an on-cover address, it's an off-cover address that is owned by token program. But when token program, hey, I have this address and you are the owner, but I am the authority. So help me transfer 100 tokens from my own account to this guy's account. So token program does the transfer for you. So that's how it all goes. So if it does not exist before, you create it. If it exists, then you do the transfer check. And yeah, so that's basically everything that's happening for account creation. Any other questions? Any questions? Any other questions?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. This thing has been crashing. Chrome has been crashing for some. I don't know for what reason.
Reject
So
Chrome
yeah,
and come to Brave. Be brave.
yeah.
Be brave.
I'm currently brave now. So yeah. So my question is on the assignments we are given in School of Solana, right? So yeah. So we're actually told to build a DApp app, right? And
A
then
dap.
you should, yes, DApp,
Okay. Yeah.
and you should deploy it. You should deploy it the front end and also the back end. So it's more like in two different folders, and then we have been asked to connect both the program and the front end together, right? And so for some reasons, which I kind of find my way around it, I've actually like finished the program aspect, and also
Mm-hmm.
the front end is now connecting to the wallet, to the DevNet wallet. But now my concern is when I deposited some SOL into the program, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
How do I connect the program and the front end? Because I saw
Together.
something that yeah, because I saw something about keys, I mean something, yeah, and program ID, right? And they're saying I should deploy my program. So yeah, how am I deploying the program to the what they call, how am I
Okay.
yeah, so that's bridge is where the front end is working individually, the program
Okay.
is working individually. So yeah.
Okay. That's cool. The program will work. Wait, did all your tests pass? That's the first question. If all your tests not pass, you need to fix it. Are your tests working
My
well?
my test fail, oh, my test fail.
If your test if your tests are failing, then it will fail also in the program now. It will fail when you connect it to the front end. Let's do another call tomorrow to guide you through how to connect. So tomorrow's call, we're not supposed to have a call tomorrow, but we did not do a call on Monday, so why not? We'll have a call tomorrow. Then Collins will be there. Collins, you up, right? Collins will be here. So what are you using to test? Are you using Web3.js? Are you using Vue? Are you using Kit? Are you using Kite?
To connect to the is Web3JS, Web3JS.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, and
Anyone
it's
that you use
with
for now, you don't have to change that. You can still use Web3.js. So you're going to use Coral. Coral is Anchor. You wrote the program with Anchor, right?
yes, with Anchor.
Yeah, so Coral is Anchor's framework, SDK, that helps you. connect your Anchor program directly to any clients, any TypeScript clients. So there's a Cora TypeScript SDK. So we'll get into that tomorrow. So tomorrow will be about testing. So do you have a fundamental understanding of how to write a Vault program?
No, no. I think what I built was just a counter, right? That
Okay.
increments and decrements. So that's
So
like the what I could like walk
so
around with.
if I had started writing Vault, everybody would have been lost.
I've already even when you were saying the other thing, I was already lost, but I was just trying to catch up.
Yeah, you would not need to copy and paste anything. Okay, but they don't know. As in, they don't know Kodama now. They don't know Kodama now. Don't do that to them. This is not. These guys are fresh in Aki, fresh in TB. TB has gone. That Turbine Providers has gone far though, because they've done Esco, they've done Vaults, right? But I think Aki guys are still on the counter examples, right? The counter example is not the most difficult thing in the world. It's basically easy.
We are not on the counter example. They say build a project, escrow, social media, but me I choose
Okay,
counter. I don't
it
get
just
strength.
how will you choose counter? What the fuck is that?
I felt
Okay,
like that's like the basics of entering, like how I could like
I rephrase.
yes, yes, that's the basic of how
Aki
we could
guys have
enter.
done turbine. Done. I say turbine. They've done escrow and vote also, but
Yeah.
this individual said he wants to use a counter as his capstone project. The counter will do space physics. Yeah, you have to be the counter for Jeff. Sorry, no, this is not about you. This is about Tobai. If Jeff can see this, you have to be the counter example as a counter project for Jeff. This is what Jeff will do to you. Yeah. So yeah, we can go over the counter and how it integrates with the front end. And have you done the vault and escrow examples?
Yeah, we just learned it, but I did not for the sake of the assignment. I felt like with the short time frame, doing the test and all that would take a lot of time. So I just felt like, oh, let me just do
Okay.
this short one. Yeah, yeah.
So
But we've done that. We've done the
tomorrow,
vote.
tomorrow, maybe we'll start earlier. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? Tomorrow is Thursday. Collins, 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 you started this today again. Let's look at what Collins said. I'll just leave it this year and I'll not say anything. Yeah. So today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we can do Thursday. We have a
Yes,
call
Collins, please
at
let us
least.
be. You are fresh in the system.
Yeah, please. My test fail, but it will pass soon.
Yay. Okay. Okay, someone asked a question. What's the roadmap from beginners to job on Solana? Okay, first you're on the right track. Before I get to Godwin's exam, Godwin, we'll treat yours tomorrow. Maybe we'll do 2 p.m. instead of 3 p.m. So I have enough time. 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Wait. I have a community call by then. Okay, I'll drop it. I'll drop the information on time. Might be in the morning too. So at least we'll be able to get that out of the way. Collins, you did not have to do this. This was not necessary. It's cracking me up. Okay, so I was saying you can do earlier than at testing your connecting your programs with the clients. So that you can do that earlier tomorrow. But for roadmap, okay, the thing is career advice. I would have loved Jeff if Jeff was here. I don't think Jeff's on the call. But if Jeff was here, I would have loved Jeff or anybody from Turbine, the instructors from Turbine to give or shed light on this. Berg might be here, Andre might be here, Shuna might be here, Glacier might be here. They might be here. That's the thing about Turbine guys. They keep showing up for their guys. But before they pull up, I'll say you want to now Solana has attracted a lot of attention, right? A lot of people are coming to Solana, and just understanding the bare minimum is not enough. It's not enough. A project will not give you The company will not give you a project to work on because you know how to write escrow or not how to write vault. No, that was 2020, 2022, not 2022. So now the goalposts are shifted. So you have to do your best, skill up. It's not time to sit down, sit around and try to say, yo, I can write a vault, I can write an escrow, give me a job. No, even AMM is not enough now. Everybody can write an AMM. Not everybody do. So it is keep going, attending classes. I would suggest if you want to get the best place that can put you in the eyes of people that will hire you is if you've maybe graduated, maybe Excel, accelerated builders at Turbine, or you've done, I don't know about Aki, the level of the curriculum there, but if you've done advanced, yes, advanced guys on Turbine also, they're like easily they're the easiest to hire because they have a lot of this experience. The guys at advanced currently are they are right. They are making commits. They are making improvement docs. They are making PRs to the Solana runtime. Yes, to the Solana runtime. You know, you know what that means. It's not you're not writing a client program. You're writing a PR for how Solana works. Exactly. So that is the level of the advanced guys. So that way you're on the spotlight. Those guys get hired easily because that's the kind of level of, but you could get from you could but your best bet is getting to that level, right? So that's basically what I would say. Just keep the energy up. It's still now you're on the right track. Now the thing is when you have a long way to go and you have a community to guide you through, the journey is easier. But if you are going this solo, yeah, no, that's not going to work so much. That's why Solana is putting a lot of resources out there to make sure people are learning these things and have good mentorship, right? So that's basically my answer to the question. The question was, what's excuse me, what's the roadmap from beginner to job on Solana? You have to know this stuff. You have to understand how Solana works very well. Build open source project. Contribute to open source project that solve people problem. If you don't want to do low level stuff, build solutions that open source solutions that people will see you and want to hire you for it. Can build pretty much is building an indexer. That guy will soon get tired. Like that's is on the track to getting tired ASAP. He's building he's building something like Remix. If you know Remix for EVM, he built something like Remix for EVM. That's Solix DB. Somebody's going to hire that guy real quick, like very very soon. Yeah, don't start up. He's building something like Remix is an IDE, an online IDE for writing Solidity and deploying to EVM environments. That's what he's doing with Solix. Solix, you can load your IDL, JP test your program on online. You don't have to use Anchor and stuff. Just declare your IDL, generate all the instructions for you. That's what people want to see. You're solving a problem. And Priyansh, I think Priyansh did just builders. He don't do accelerated builders. He did builders and he did Gil. I think work with us on Gil. He don't do accelerated builders. He don't do advanced, but he did builders and he's working on he's solving a problem in the ecosystem. He definitely get hired. So it's not about apart from the fact that you're grinding the classes, you're showing up, you're putting in the effort. It's not just school knowledge, not just textbook knowledge now. What can you do with what you know? Yeah, so that's the easiest way for you to get hired. What can you do? What have you done with what you know? Contribute to open source project. Keep contributing to open source project to build your portfolio. People want to hire someone that they know and have a good track record of what they can do and what they have done. I've been rambling on and on and on about things that I don't know about. Yeah, but that's my take. Anybody else from the audience wants to say something about that? I have a question. Yeah, you have a question. Drop your question. Yeah.
So yeah, I think one of the questions I have is in most of the terms, right? I know. First of all, started with Rust book, and then we went to the whole Solana yes side. But I don't know if you have any resources, or because sometimes most of these terms are confusing, right? So if we could give us probably any tips on most of these terms, where we could get resources on, because one is understanding these terms to know how they work, which like gives us like better like
If you
understanding.
okay, if you had joined the call early, we did a lot of yeah. Priyansh got into Super Dev and Archeum as well. The guy is killing it. Going to Super Dev and Archeum as well. The guy Priyansh did just builders. He did not do accelerated. He did not do advanced. He did builders. Builders was the so like a tough start, but that was like the basics on turbine before pre-builders. There was no pre-builders before. He did just builders, and he got into Super Dev and Archeum. So it's what you can do with what you know right now. So your question is tips. If you were here earlier, we spilled a lot of in-depth things about how PDAs work, ATAs work, what the curve is, two ED25519 curve, bumps. We did a deep dive into that. We were talking about all of those stuff like more than 1 hour before you joined. What you can do is rewatch this after maybe rewatch it till 1 hour 20 minutes before you joined, and you will see most of the questions you asked now. They're there already. Most of the fundamentals based on the question that people asked though were covered already. And I shared some material. I would do well to share those materials again. Or if someone can help copy those materials that I shared and paste it in the comments, not in the chat, not in the live chat, in the comment of the post rather. So those materials that I shared, just like to post it in the MSC. I'll try to do that after the call, but if someone can do that right now, so it will be nice. So for you to understand, okay, we talk about architecture diagram first. About you've talked about a lot of things before you came in. So, but watch the videos from the beginning. We'll do another session tomorrow. Try to get you guys all the questions you have. Just bring questions in. That's what we're here to do. We're here to solve and fix right answers to those problems, right? Yeah. Any other question? Any questions? Any questions? No questions. Some questions. Probably some questions. And right. So no more questions. Thank you. If there are no questions, we'll try to pick it up tomorrow to do. Yeah.
There are
Thanks,
more
Collins.
questions, but let's just leave it till tomorrow.
What? Yeah, let me take one more question before we go.
No, no, let's just leave since we have a session tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow is a community call, but we will see how far we can go before the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So that's me signing off. And what else? What else? What else? I wanted to share something. I wanted to share something. Yeah, thanks, Collins. Collins will be here tomorrow to he will bring the iron hand to you guys that are writing your programs, are writing counter examples. So it will help us test, connect your program to your client. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. Your front end clients or your tests, make sure everything works. So that's what I have to do. And all that's the word. We're not expecting you to already know these things. We're here to explain them to you. If you have questions, come up, let's answer the questions. And yeah, it's been an amazing 2 hours, 23 minutes. With how can front end devs excel in this space? Front end devs, the thing is, it's not enough to be a front end dev to say if you want to be in Solana, you need to the thing is if you want to be a front end dev in the normal in web two, it's not in web two, you need to know what let's say if you are doing Next.js now, I think Next.js, you need to know what kind of DB you are connecting to, server functions, all those kind of stuff. That comes with the package of writing Next.js front end. So you need to know what packages to use as a front end dev. So the thing is in Web3 space now, and the blockchain you are working with that you're interacting with, you need to know how things work in that blockchain first before you start writing front end for it. You cannot write, you cannot just be you could though. If someone did the UI and sent it to you as a front end developer, just recreate the UI and hand over the program interaction to someone else on the team. But most likely it's going to be you because you are the front end engineer, and front end guys are pushing for everything front end now. So the program you have the test that you can re-implement into your front end, and If you are building an NFT marketplace, let's say, does not have a backend, it's just program and one that does not have a backend, just the program and your front end. So you need to know how to interact with to connect your front end and your program together. So that's it. So for front end dev, you still need to know these things if you want to contribute to Solana. Or let me give another example. The guys that contributed to Gil, the guys that wrote Gil SDK, they are front most of us were front end developers that contributed. But we need to we understand the guys that contributed had gone through builders at the list had gone through builders on Turbine. So we already know how these things work. We already know we know most of the things, so what are the basics and advanced concepts. Yes, you could just say you want to be a front end engineer on Solana. That's cool. They have front end roles, but I don't know. I don't know how much roles are available for that entry. But yeah, there are. I think what's this guy name? Mira. I don't know if Mira is a programs guy. He should be, but Mira has mostly been doing a lot of dashboards, Web3 dashboards and all. So yeah, he's not. He's a very good front end engineer. So as a front end engineer, you can bring what you know, but you still need to know how this thing work in Solana before you contribute meaningfully, right? So yeah, that's it. Mira. I'll try to tag him, and I'll try. I will send him. I'll send you his Twitter so you can reach out to him. He's a dev rel in Super Team too for one of the states here too. So any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? Um, right. I think those are all the questions. I think. I guess. Yeah. So thank you for staying. And this has been the Anchor Founder, the Solid Solana Fundamentals version. So we have to take it a couple of steps backward to explain all these fundamentals to guys coming newly to Solana. So that's what we'll be doing today, tomorrow. Let's see how far we can cover before we get back to the heated topics, right? Heated topics, Pinocchio, heated topics, token extension, transfer hooks. Oh, sorry, you guys don't understand that. Let me just keep it at that. But yeah, this is the Anchor Founder and it's for technical founders, for coding CTOs, and for great devs. The journey is to be a great dev. So let's do great things. Yeah, thank you, and see you tomorrow.